Hey everybody, welcome back to the All Skill Garage channel. I'm Eric, and today I'm going to recap our recent trip to Detroit for the Motor City Madness Model Car Show and Swap Meet. This takes place at the Macomb Sports and Expo Center, and is one of the larger shows you can go to for a vendor area, and I think they had 500 and some odd models in the contest. Just walking through the door, you can see the size of the vendor area is amazing for the Swap Meet. There is anything and everything automotive here that you could possibly imagine. And what's cool is because it's in Detroit, you occasionally get to see some stuff from old designers from the big three automakers. Jimmy Flintstone's there, selling a bunch of his resin bodies at a somewhat discounted rate. There's a local artist that shows up and actually shows off his racing history artwork. Hot Wheels, of course, is a major part of our hobby, as well as some of these 1/18 scale resin models that are almost as nice as anyone I've ever seen build an actual model. These are some of the high-end racing ones of those from a local company that shows up every year. Bagged kits, you can get bagged kits here for pennies on the dollar and be able to get some parts. There's even a man selling his boats. These are some old 60s promos as well as some old build-ups. Great for parts. Some of them are incredibly high-end collectibles. AFX slot cars, old Tyco slot cars, even the 1/25th scale old Parma slot cars that my dad and I used to race when I was a kid. These are some more of those vintage promotional kits from the 60s and 70s. A man's full collection that this is models that he has built over the years that he was there getting rid of. Lego figures, even some displays for your 1/64 scale diecast that look like miniature trade show exhibits. And look at all these vintage kits and vintage box art. It was insane the amount of vintage stuff there. They even had a Datsun 240Z original issue that I'm definitely going to regret not buying. While the swap meet area may be the main attraction for the collectors, the main draw for the builders is definitely the contest tables. Here you'll see 400, almost 500 of some of the finest work of some of the best builders here nationally, regionally, and locally. Builders like Tim Casper, who built these two models sitting on these turntables. Tim was the winner of the Best of Show award this year and in the previous year. That beautiful blue Chevelle in the back was done by my friend Tom Kren and won an award for this category. The minivan in the front was done by Steve Courtney, who is a friend of ours and a member of our local club. This truck in the front with the wood grain was beautiful, as well as that doubled up Volkswagen bus. And check out that limo in the back. Jim Drew brought this gorgeous Mazda 787B, and I can't even describe the amount of detail and work that went into it, as well as that blue and red car that I don't even know what it is, but I do know it's mostly scratch built. Our other fellow club member, Jeff Blumhoff, brought that beautiful new NASCAR that he had just finished the day before. And here comes another work by Jim Drew. That is, each one was better than the next. His work is fantastic. The finishing is fantastic. You can't get any better than some of the work that Jim does. The large scale stuff is always exciting to see. I've always struggled with large scale stuff just because I wouldn't know where to stop. I think you'd end up doing a lot of little detail work, and at some point it would almost be easier to build a real car. Not necessarily cheaper, though. This was one of my entries that I'll touch on a little bit later. That this was the custom category, and some of the custom paint was just insane. Check out the sparkly blue truck. And this was the custom class winner, again by Tim Casper, a Van Halen tribute truck. There's that sparkly blue paint again, as well as another build by Tom Kren just passing through. Tim's wife, Debbie, also builds, and that was one of her builds there. Another build by Steve Courtney, a local friend and YouTube guy. Those vans in the back won Best Paint, and they are amazing. Scott Stoner did this cool Scooby-Doo van with some great pattern work. This was the box stock category, I believe, and it was incredibly hard fought. I couldn't even tell you what won that category, but there was a lot of beautiful models. One nice thing about the show is they do have a slot car category that a lot of shows don't have, and they get some really good stuff. Actually, they have more stuff in past years than they did this year, but still some really nice stuff. Rat rods is always an interesting category in a contest just to see what people bring. This year they had a lowrider donk category, and there was some very, very nice builds in this. That G-body build, that green one, was one of my personal favorites. I have always wanted to build a lowrider. I haven't got there yet, but I'm sure it's coming at some point. This is the miscellaneous category. I do know that Batgirl one up top, the Batgirl Batmobile, was a Best of Show winner at the Detroit Autorama and then showed up for this show. Coming up here is another build by Scott Stoner, his Back to the Future General Lee, and another beautiful boat. And that little Beetle scooter was done by a club member and friend again, Tom Kren. New this year for the category, they have a land, sea, and air. And this is going to be for your airplanes and armor, and more of like what you'd find at an IPMS show, and not just an automotive show. But again, these guys are some of the top-notch builders in the country, in the world. I take a lot of notes from guys that build models, airplanes and model boats. They know a lot about finishing. This diorama was mind-blowing. The more you looked at it, the more stuff you saw. There's gorgeous finished heads in the back and brake lathe. It was crazy. As well as these. My favorite one's in the back here, and as you pan up, you'll get to see it. It is a double-decker bus turned into a coffee shop / restaurant. Look under the hood. There's even burgers cooking on that grill with some smoke. Another well-attended class this year was the heavy commercial. We see a lot of the semi-truck builds here at this show and at NNL East. The semi-builders, a lot of credit there. Just even transporting these things has to be a nightmare. Give these guys a lot of credit. And of course, you can't forget about the little guys. So we have the youth builders, 12 and under. So the junior builders, the next step up there, 13 to 16. There was some very, very nice stuff in this category. I do believe that blue Skyline was the class winner and very well deserved. Here's some more close-ups of that work by Jim Drew. It is absolutely fantastic. If you're on Facebook and in any of the modeling groups, Druid Scale Models, he does some gorgeous stuff. Look at the seat alone in that blue car. That leather looks like you could just sit in it. Now, this is the judges' table. So the judges spend so much time judging our cars that they have a People's Choice modeling contest for their own stuff. So you'll see that ballot box down there at the end, and those are their personal ones. Now, moving forward, this is straight line competition. So lots of interesting stuff. These are going to be your salt flats cars, your drag cars, and actually the best of show winner, which just passed by up there on that turntable, that came out of this class this year. It's just some beautiful stuff all around. I love that gray 62 Chevy. I think I did a close-up of it later on. And from Jeff Newhart, this is his Nova build twin turbo. Insane. Look at that sparkly roof. And here's another look at that gorgeous gray 62 Impala. Very nice finishing work on that. And on to light commercial. Now, so these are going to be your ambulances, your police cars, your hearses, stuff like that. Lots of working LEDs. Really neat category. And then hot rod. Everybody loves hot rod. Lots of nice stuff again in this. My personal favorite is going to pass by right there. That blue and white 5 window with the white interior. It's near and dear to my heart. Very cool. Another build by Tom Kren there. The Good Guys 32. And then I believe this was the class winner in this. Another Tim Casper. Next up, we're going to show a couple of models that my dad and I built. So this was my dad's entry. This is a Bronco with a midget that we will be doing a build biography on soon, as well as this. This was my dad's entry into the competition class, and was actually the class winner in that class. Custom Dodge Daytona that he built in 2019. This is only its second show out. This was also a class winner by my dad, Larry Ritz. This is going to be a modified Diecast 57 Chevy Gasser. This was my personal build. Again, a build biography coming on this. This was a second place in custom, and I got an engineering award. And a final zoom out of that Jim Drew Mazda 787B build that was probably one of my favorites at the show, and give you a good feel for all of the models that were actually there participating. It was great. I appreciate reviewing this with you guys. Thank you so much. Please like and subscribe down below for more videos like this, and see you at the next one.